This is a robotic hand I made move using only my muscles. Here's how I did it. I first started by making some sketches of what the hand was going to look like. These sketches gave me a rough idea of how the hand was going to move and what it would end up looking like later. So after I made those drawings, I went straight into CAD and got to work. Taking a look at my CAD drawings, it was obvious that I needed some improvement. I mean, I haven't had any CAD experience previous to this project, but through trial and error, I was able to get the project to where it needed to be. And now we're gonna look at the exploded view, which in my opinion is one of the coolest parts about modeling on SolidWorks. And these are all the hands that I've made so far, but none of these fit my idea of what I wanted the hand to look like. So I made an adjustment. And this is what the hand looks like now. After printing it out, it's time to put some pieces together. Definitely gonna have to fix that. Then I got to my biggest problem yet when I was making this hand. I connected the servo to the finger, and the finger only got to around halfway. This came from the fact that the servos could only turn 180 degrees, and the servo horn I had wasn't enough to get the full range of motion that I needed for these fingers. So with the limited budget, I had to come up with some kind of solution. I tried different things like gear ratios, making the servo horn longer, and even making the finger smaller, but none of those solutions worked out. So here's what I ended up coming up with. If the servo horn only moves 180 degrees, I just need to maximize the length that I can get out of those 180 degrees. And right now, I was only using the diameter of the servo horn instead of using the arc that it actually covers. So basically, if I use the arc of the servo horn rather than only the diameter, I'm gonna get more length, which is gonna give me more range of motion and will be able to give me the closed fist that I want with my hand. But then it was a question of, how can I get the arc of the servo horn? And that's when I thought of just having a circular servo horn. But the 3D printer doesn't allow tolerances that tight, so I made an attachment to the servo horn that already came with the servos. And this is what that ended up looking like. And it worked. So I got 4 of these. Then it was time to print out the wrist, and I had many different designs like this blue one here. And a couple failed prints later, I had this orange one here. Now we're taking a look at all the options I had to move these fingers. And while there are a couple, it's clear why I made my decision. So these are just some regular high torque servos that I ended up choosing because of their simplicity. Then we have a stepper motor, which I didn't use because I didn't have the drivers for it. Then we have another high torque servo, but this one didn't have the right horn. And then finally, I'm gonna use 5 of these little servos right here. But they had the problem of not being strong enough to pull the fingers, even after all the sanding I did. So I got 5 of these, but with the power supply that I had, I could only use around 3 of them. And these are the power supplies here. This one is for the sensor, and this one is for the servos, as well as this one. They both give out 5 volts, but they don't have enough amps to power all 5. And this is everything laid out, but I ended up changing it. And this was one of the hardest parts of the entire project, the coding. I mean, I went in there, then tested the sensor, and it gave me some pretty bad results at first. So I went back, fixed what needed to be fixed. It still wasn't working, so I went back, and then I realized that really I had to average the values so I can set a threshold. And then after all of that, it was slightly better. And then I finally got it. And finally, the hand was done. And there could be many things that could be added to make this hand better, like synchronization of the fingers, individual finger movement. But I'm satisfied with where the hand is now, and I'm proud of the final product. Overall, I really enjoyed bringing this project to life. I feel like I've achieved most of the things that I wanted to do when I was making this project. And I'm looking forward to making some pretty cool projects in the future.